Have you ever dreamed of owning a bookshop in a cozy British village with a tea room right next door? Well, I have, which is why Molly Mcrae's Highland Bookshop Mystery Series is a dream come true. Molly Mcrae is a former museum curator, bookstore manager, and librarian with two series, one involving knitting, the other, which we'll be discussing today, the Highland Bookshop series. Welcome to Blackbird Writers Presents Author Interviews. And welcome to you, Molly.
Thank you, Sharon. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So as your bio says, I know you've managed bookstores and you've been a librarian, which is also the background of your main character, Janet. How much of Molly is there in Janet?
Probably just the words bookstore and librarian. Although we're both of a similar age, and she's retired, and now I am retired.
Congratulations.
So we're growing together a little.
Okay.
Short, I'm short. She's a little dumpy, I'm not, but I'm stumpy, I'm not dumpy.
I've met you. I think we're the same height. Well, she is an absolutely delightful character, and very much enjoy reading about her. So even though the series is a single point of view from Janet's perspective, you really have an ensemble cast. You have four characters who make up the tea shop and the bookstore. So what made you decide to just stay single POV point of view rather than going into each of the women's heads?
It was a big decision. I think it made it easier to write the stories, although I love doing first person. To me, that's quite easy. You can really, as the author, I can really get into those heads. Well, one of the reasons, though, because I wanted an American to be the narrator, if that's what she is then we're seeing Scotland through the American's eyes, and that way she can make mistakes. She can mishear things. She can ask for definitions of words. She's the outsider who makes it easier for an American to write it because I'm not a Scotswoman.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It comes across very, very well. And I do appreciate those moments where she's like, what? So tell us about your inspiration for this series.
I did spend time in Scotland, and I would like to spend more time in Scotland. So this is my way of getting back there more often than I do in real life. But also, I loved running a bookstore. It was just bookstore singular, not with an S on the end. Although I have worked in other bookstores, and I loved working in the library. One day I saw an ad for a bookstore for sale in Scotland. On the West Coast, it was a going concern, tourist town. They just wanted someone else to take it over so they could go off and retire. And I posted on Facebook and I said, who wants to go in with me? Wouldn't this be great? Yeah. So that's what I saved the whole thread because people said, oh, yes. And oh, you know what? I'll come and I'll do your IT stuff. Oh, and I'll come. And can we also have a tea room? And I said, well, it looks like there's room for that there. So yes, we'll have a tea room too. And someone else, we could bed and breakfast. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that too. So it snowballed from that. It was all a big joke and a lot of fun. But I had also for years thought, at the suggestion of one of my elderly cousins, wouldn't it be great to buy a place in someplace gorgeous and have it be a business where family members could come and help work and older ones could get the care they needed and the next generation coming up would have the daycare they needed. So I had my characters going through that same kind of thinking. I also did the research, though, to see if Americans can buy a business in Scotland. And they can, if they have enough money in the bank and enough cash flow, they can do it. So I set it up so that these women had the capabilities, they had the skills, they had the excitement, and they had the dough. So
Everything they needed.
yeah, why
Uh,
not?
yeah, it comes across as like, you have Tally, Janet's daughter, is a former lawyer and law professor, and yeah, she knows her stuff. So if there's any doubt, it's like, oh no, she's explained it. We get it. Yeah. And as far as migrating, actually, it's easier to immigrate to Scotland than to, say, England or Wales.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just,
they're looking for people.
yeah, they
Yeah.
make it a little easier.
Mhm.
All right. So I think it's the first book. Actually started when I bought the most recent book at Malice Domestic, and then I had to do a big long drive trip. So I grabbed the first one that came up on Audible, which was the second one. So then I went back into the first one, and then I'm again driving a lot. And so now I'm on the third one on Audible.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. So I can't remember. So I did them out of order. I can't remember which is in which, but I obviously adore them. But Janet finds a brochure about the town of Inverscale. Is that how you pronounce it?
Inverscale, yeah.
And how it got its name. And I was wondering, is that a real brochure? It just seemed so official.
No, the town isn't real either. And I had a fan write to me so disappointed because she'd gone to Scotland. She'd actually gone there, and she was doing other things too, but she wanted to go to Inverscale.
Yeah.
And she was so disappointed. I said, I'm sorry, it's fiction. I lied. I made it all up.
It is fiction. It is what we do. Yeah, it is. It feels so real, and I love the varied history that you put into the name. And
It was a lot of fun coming up with it. I had my sister Cammie helped me come up with a name that could be Gaelic. She teaches Gaelic. That's where some of that comes from. Yeah. So I told her what I wanted, and we put this together, and it just worked beautifully. Just so, yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to go there as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was on the island of Isla.
Mhm.
We went to a little village that was very much like that, but unfortunately, I don't remember the name of the village. Only that's where Rudalatic was. So, yeah.
Well, when you go to Isla, you tend to drink a certain amount of whiskey too, so maybe memories aren't as clear.
What is it? 9 distilleries and 3,000 people. Great little island.
Yeah.
All right. So when researching the series, did you find any local Scots who were particularly helpful? And you just said your sister helped you with the
Gaelic. Yeah, although I have taken some Gaelic, so I can do some of it on my own. Very minor, tiny bits of my own. There's a woman who lives around the corner from me here who's from Edinburgh, so she's been helpful. And when I was in Scotland, I was at the university there and made some good friends. And one of my good friends, this is from the mid-70s. She lives in Orkney, and she read manuscripts, and she helped a lot.
Okay.
Because it's difficult for an American to get, and I know I've gotten things wrong, which is why I tried to do it from an American's point of view. Even still got things wrong, things I shouldn't have gotten wrong. For instance, in Heather and Homicide, yes, cow is pronounced coo, but it's not spelled cu though. That's dog.
Yeah.
Highland coo is coo. Oh God, how did anyway? That's in there. I misspelled things.
Well, yeah, it's a difficult language. There's a lot.
Well, and that's just Scots too. So
yeah. All right, so the tea shop, which is next to Janet's Jan Bonnie Books, is run by her business partners who come in with new scone recipes all of the time. So I was wondering, do you bake? Do you come up with your own recipes?
I do bake. I don't make up that many of my own recipes. I often will adjust recipes to something that I change them slightly, make them my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like to bake. I haven't had much time in the last year because of writing deadlines, but now that I've just met the most recent one, back to baking, back to cooking.
Baking. Good. What's your favorite thing to bake?
Oh, I don't know that I have a favorite thing to bake, but I do like that and so many scones are good. I don't like the ones that have I don't like the ones with icing on top. No.
No, I don't like the icing or the sugar, the really crystallized
Ugh,
sugar. Yeah.
yeah,
It's yeah, they're not supposed to be that.
no. The roasted pear scones, though, that I think is in one of the books, those are delicious, really nice, because you take pears and you roast them, which makes them sweeter without being sugary and icky. And then, wow, they're just great inside a scone.
Okay, I'll try that one.
I'll use that as a recipe and post it on Mystery Lover's Kitchen at some point, so it'll be available. I don't have the recipes on my website, which I should do, but I need to get the website revamped, and maybe I'll do that at some point.
Yeah, I just had mine revamped and it's much better. Much better.
Sure about that.
All right. So this is a throwaway question, but you mentioned it that I think in the third book. What is the strangest bookmark you've ever discovered?
A double-edged razor blade.
That's horrifying.
Children's book. And I don't know that it was really a bookmark, but it acted like one, of course, and thank goodness I found it. Isn't that horrible?
That is horrible.
I don't know what that was about. I can't believe it was really a bookmark, but yikes.
Yeah, but yeah, yikes. That's
That was the number of strange things. There you get pictures of little, school pictures or a postcard, which is so sweet, or a picture that said, to my best friend, and it got left in the book. Sometimes we're able to return them because we'll recognize the people. But
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, but not always. So.
All right. Well, finally, what is next for Jan Bonnie Books, and what is next for Molly Mcrae?
Well, Jan Bonnie Books is launched on its own now. They will have to carry on without me. The publisher has said they're going to focus more on nonfiction, and so I will try to continue the stories in short stories as I have time.
I'll read those too.
Yeah, because I want to do that. It's the same with the Haunted Yarn Shop. I miss those characters. When you're writing a series, you're living there with them. Mm-hmm. They don't talk to me, they talk to each other up in my head, and I miss their voices. But what's next is, I keep saying I haven't actually announced this yet, but I guess I'm sort of announcing. I just got a 3-book deal with Kensington for a new series that takes place on Ocracoke Island off the coast of North Carolina in the Outer Banks. And it's another ghost series, which is so strange because I don't believe in ghosts. I never thought I would write ghost stories, but it's going to call the Haunted Shell Shop Mysteries, because the main character, who ends up on the island for reasons that will be disclosed, discovers the ghost of a pirate in the shell shop. Well, which all makes sense. It's so much fun. That's going to be a fun series to write. He's an accidental pirate. He didn't mean to be a pirate. Didn't work out well.
All right. Well, yeah, he's dead and he's haunting, so that usually indicates something went wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that also sounds awesome. So I will very much look forward to that. Congratulations on that. Yeah, that's amazing. Wonderful news. All right. Well, I think we are just about out of time for today. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you, everybody, for watching Blackbird Writers Presents Author Interviews.
Thanks for having me.